Welcome to the Technical Writing Success Podcast, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 154. I'm Fred, and joining me today is Daphne, and we are going to be tackling what a recent article calls the biggest paradigm shift in computing in, well, 75 years.
It's great to be here, Fred. And when you really dig into the scale of change this technology promises, it's absolutely staggering.
It really is. Our focus today is an article from our producer, Robbins, published on LinkedIn on November 13th, 2025. It's called The Quantum Leap, Computing's Next Revolution.
And it sets the bar incredibly high. It suggests this could lead to everything from curing cancer and minimizing poverty to even helping create AI superintelligence.
Huge aspirations. So, to understand how we could possibly get there, I guess we first have to understand why the computers we all use right now
Yeah,
just can't.
exactly. We have to start with the limits of today.
Okay, so let's do that. For the last, 75 years, our entire digital world has been built on what we call classical computing.
Your phone, the internet, global finance, all of it.
And it's all based on really simple, really reliable binary logic. A bit is either a 1 or it's a 0. That's it.
And that system has been foundational, but it's hit a serious wall. The article points out that for certain monumentally complex problems, things like simulating molecules or cracking advanced encryption,
Yeah.
our fastest supercomputers would take, and this is not an exaggeration, millennia to solve them.
So we're not just talking about needing a faster chip. This is a fundamental barrier.
Yeah.
It's just the approach is too linear.
Precisely. The whole paradigm has to shift. We have
Yeah.
to move from that rigid 1 or 0 path into, the strange and probabilistic world of quantum mechanics.
Right. And that brings us to the engine of the revolution, the difference between a bit and a qubit. And we'll be
Yeah.
using that term qubit.
That one-word difference is an enormous leap. A classical bit, like we said, is stuck. It's a 1 or a 0. A qubit, though, uses a quantum property called superposition.
So it doesn't have to choose.
It doesn't have to choose. It can be a 1, 0, or, and this is the part that bends your brain a little, both at the exact same time.
Okay, that sounds like pure science fiction. And then you add in the second ingredient, entanglement.
Yes, entanglement. This is where it gets even stranger. You can link multiple qubits, and they become inextricably connected. If you measure one, you instantly influence the others,
No matter how far apart they are.
no matter the distance. And this is how you get that unbelievable exponential power.
The article has a great example for this. It says 3 classical bits can only represent one combination out of 8 at a time, like 1's 1.
Right. But 3 entangled qubits in superposition can represent all 8 of those combinations simultaneously. They can explore this huge problem space all at once. It's not just faster, it's a fundamentally different way of calculating.
So if the theory is that powerful, how did it go from, a physics concept to a global security issue?
Well, it started back in the early 80s. The physicist Richard Feynman suggested that if you want to simulate nature, which follows quantum rules.
You need a computer that also follows quantum rules.
Exactly. Then David Deutsch formalized it a bit later. But it was mostly an academic curiosity.
Until 1994. That seems to be the year everything changed.
That was the turning point. A mathematician named Peter Shor developed what's now called Shor's algorithm. And he proved mathematically that a large-scale quantum computer could break most of the encryption that protects, the entire internet.
So all of our secure data, banking, communications, military secrets.
All of it. And in that moment, it stopped being a curiosity and became a matter of global security, an urgent one.
Which I imagine immediately ran headfirst into the challenge of, how do you actually build one of these things?
A monumental challenge.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Robbins.
Hi, this is Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the Technical Writing Success Podcast.
Okay, before the break, we were talking about this incredible theoretical power, but you mentioned it's a monumental challenge to build one. What's the core hardware problem? Why are these qubits so hard to manage?
In a word, fragility. They are incredibly sensitive. Any little bit of noise, vibration, even a tiny temperature change, and they decohere.
Decohere.
The whole quantum state just collapses. The calculation fails. That's why the machines we have today are called noisy intermediate scale quantum devices, or NISQ. The key word there is noisy. The error rate is still a huge, huge problem.
And to deal with that noise, they have to create these extreme environments.
Extreme is the right word. We're talking about specialized refrigerators that cool the processors to just fractions of a degree above absolute zero.
Colder than deep space.
Much colder. The article notes IBM's processors get down to about 10 to 15 millikelvin. For you at home, that's roughly negative 460 degrees Fahrenheit. It's an incredible engineering feat.
Which explains why this has become a new kind of space race. It's governments and tech giants in a full sprint.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The economic and security implications are enormous. The U.S. has the National Quantum Initiative Act, which is about $1.2 billion. But China has reportedly made it a top national priority and is investing even more.
And in the private sector, you have the tech titans going head to head. IBM seems to be a leader in just building machines and getting them on the cloud for researchers.
They are. Then you have Google, which claimed quantum supremacy back in 2019 with their Sycamore processor. That was a huge milestone. Meanwhile, Microsoft is playing more of a long game, trying to build a more stable but very difficult topological qubit.
It's also interesting to see who else is in the race. NVIDIA isn't building the quantum computers themselves, but they're still a huge player.
Right, because they're building the bridge. They're developing the hardware and software, like CDIQ, to create hybrid systems connecting quantum processors to our classical supercomputers.
Which we need for what? Error correction?
Exactly. The classical machines are still essential for managing the noise and fixing the errors on these early NISQ devices.
So that tells us we're still a few years out. The next big milestone everyone is waiting for is something called quantum advantage. What does it actually mean?
Quantum advantage is the moment a quantum computer solves a real-world, commercially useful problem faster or better than the best classical computer we have. Most experts think we're just a few years away from that point.
And when we get past that, when we have mature, fault-tolerant machines, the applications are, well, they're the things we talked about at the beginning.
Supercharging AI, designing new materials for batteries or solar panels from the atom up, and optimization.
Yeah.
Finding the perfect solution out of quadrillions of possibilities for supply chains, financial models.
Curing diseases like cancer or diabetes by simulating molecules with perfect accuracy.
That's the promise. The power to simulate nature perfectly unlocks doors that have always been closed to us.
But that brings us right back to the central warning in the article, doesn't it? The core tension.
It does. The same power that can design a new life-saving drug is the exact same power needed to run Shor's algorithm.
And shatter our digital security.
Which is why there's a second parallel race happening right now. A race to develop and deploy quantum-resistant encryption before these code-breaking machines become a reality.
So we're facing this incredible shift. On one side, you have this immense, almost utopian promise. And on the other, the foundational peril of our entire digital world being compromised.
It's the ultimate double-edged sword, and it's a change that's going to touch every single field of technology.
For anyone listening, especially in our field, it really forces you to think about the information security and data protocols you're working with right now, because the foundation they're built on has an expiration date.
Thank you for listening to the Technical Writing Success Podcast from Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.